Welcome back to Casual Buzz Rugby. This is the official match preview between Argentina versus New Zealand. Boy oh boy, the first of the semi-finals of the Rugby World Cup. I mean, I'm so excited. We'll look at some of the history between the two teams, go through the lineups. I haven't even seen the lineups. I've got it up on the screen here. We're going to go through it first reaction to it, initial reaction. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it. Of course, most people would say this is going to be a runaway victory for New Zealand. And I mean, the history backs it, but I mean, you can't take away the passion of Argentina. I mean, to beat Wales, I know Wales weren't necessarily at their best before the World Cup, but you can't take away anything from that victory. It was a class performance. Wales really got into their groove in this World Cup. They were dominant in all of their games, maybe apart from Fiji, but I mean, Fiji has been playing out of their skins. So for Argentina to get the victory over Wales, of course, is absolutely massive. So let's look into the history between the two teams. We'll just look at the past 5 games. 5 games ago was 2021. In the Gold Coast, in Australia, New Zealand victors 39-0. The week after, New Zealand won the game in Brisbane 36-13. And then we went to the history-making game where Argentina actually won the game in Christchurch. So I think, was that the first Argentinian victory in New Zealand's country? 25-18. Which was absolutely crazy. I remember that was when we as Bok fans went absolutely crazy because we think we were going to win the rugby championship, and then we went on to lose against Australia. So, but that was a big victory for Argentina. And then right the week afterwards, just got spanked by 50 points, 53-3 in the Waikato Stadium. I mean, that is a bounce back if you want one. A team losing history. A historical loss and then bouncing back and demolishing a team of the Argentinian quality, 53-3 is absolutely crazy. And then, of course, earlier this year in the Rugby Championship in Mendoza, New Zealand came out firing. Damien McKenzie probably played one of the games of his life. 41-12 victors in that game. And now we meet at the semi-final. At the start of France, absolutely crazy, packed out stadium. I mean, the crowd are going to be up for it. Of course, New Zealand favourites. We'll get into a prediction later on, but let's go through the lineups because I'm curious to see what New Zealand are going for. We'll start off with the New Zealand lineup. Of course, this video is going to be mostly focused on New Zealand because this is no disrespect to Argentina. I just don't know their team as well as I know the All Blacks team. I don't watch too much of the Argentinian club level players. I haven't watched them too much during the World Cup, especially after their performance against England. I kind of shut down on Argentina, but somehow they've ended up in the semi-finals. They always find a way to end up at the business stage of the season. Starting off in the front row, we got Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor and Tyrell Lomax. And I mean, those 3 boys truly showed some class against the Irish front row. I thought the Irish front row would have a I wouldn't say a field day, but they'll have the dominance when it comes to scrum time. I actually said it in the breakdown. I didn't do a review of the game. It was one of the best games that I've seen in my life. But I didn't do a review because I had some alcohol in the system and I didn't want to butcher the video. But I mean, absolutely brilliant. The heart, passion and desire these guys showed, not only at scrum time, just everywhere around the field. Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor, Tyrell Lomax. It was just a pleasure to watch it. Moving on, you got Sam Whitelock, Scott Barrett. So Brodie Retallick on the bench. I don't know. Am I surprised to see it? I just rate the Brodie Retallick so highly. But it's a flip of the coin because most people would say Scott Barrett's probably the best lock. He does have a shout to be the best lock in the world at the moment. So, I mean, you can't drop him. So you have to choose between Sam Whitelock and Brodie Retallick. That's a question that I have for you guys. Would you rather have played Sam Whitelock or played Brodie Retallick in that 4 jersey? Scott Barrett shoehorned in, well, not shoehorned, but he's one of the first names on the team sheet. He's the enforcer, absolutely brilliant. Love the guy, proper talent. Moving on to the back three. All the Lucy's, you got Shannon, Snitchell, Frizzle, Sam Cane, Adi Savia. Now, I've got to put some respect on Sam Cane's name. I said Peter O'Mani or Josh van der Vlier will have the better of him. I do rate Sam Cane at the breakdowns and stuff. I don't know what the guy from Off the Ball was talking about. He must have been on some fat drugs to say that Sam Cane doesn't know how to ruck. The guy put in the performance of his life. A true captain's knock that he put in there. I mean, it was absolutely insane. Just, you have to respect it. I know there's a lot of people that would rather, for instance, play Dalton Papali'i in that position, in that number 7 jersey, or throw in someone else at 8 and throw Adi Savia in that 7 jersey. But I mean, Sam Cane was absolutely brilliant in that game against Ireland. Shannon Frizzell, of course, I slandered him when I first heard his name a couple of months ago, and since that it's just been performance on performance on performance on performance. I mean, especially in that game against South Africa, the guy's just been class. He's just brute force, just running at you. He's such a hard runner with the ball. And then of course, to end it off, who better to end off your forwards than the best forward in the world, one of the best to ever do it, Adi Savia. I mean, the guy is insane. I don't think I've ever seen a forward that has been so dominant in literally everything they do. Attack, defense, breakdown, everything. Adi Savia is insane. Now, this is another question. So the first question was Sam Whitelock or Brodie Retallick. Second question is Adi, let's say New Zealand win this World Cup, is he higher up in the GOAT rankings for you than Richie McCaw? I mean, it's not a stupid debate. I think overall, Adi Savia just offers so much more. I think he's an absolute brilliant player. If New Zealand was to win this Rugby World Cup, Adi Savia gets the, I almost said the Ballon d'Or, gets Rugby Player of the Year. Especially because he got snubbed the previous season. So I've got to put respect on the guy's name. Absolutely brilliant. Moving on. Aaron Smith, Richie Mo'unga. Aaron Smith, the best 9 to ever do it. I will die on that hill. I didn't see the likes of George Cregan. Yes, there was a Fourie du Preez. Yes, there was Van der Westhuizen. But of what I've seen, Aaron Smith, year in, year out, just his knowledge and knowing how to read the game is irreplaceable. And then, of course, Richie Mo'unga, currently the best 10 in the world by country miles. I said it in the previous video, in the build-up to the Ireland game, that he's much better than Johnny Sexton. He just offers so much more. And that's exactly what... He just showcased his class in that game. I mean, the guy can't put a foot wrong. He's got extreme pace for a 10. I mean, the try that Will Jordan scored, how he just... dummy step straight through the line, one offload, gets Will Jordan to push the gas pedal and score in the corner. The guy is world class. I still don't think he gets the props he deserves. Like, just to say he's the best 10 currently isn't even enough. I truly still believe the guy is so underrated. Moving on to the centres, you got Jordie Barrett, Rico Ioane, no surprises there. Really gotten into their zone since they've been the centre pairing. Don't have too much to add to it, really. I'm very surprised, though, that we have Mark Talia back. Now, it's up for interpretation whether you think Mark Talia is better than Leicester Fainga'anuku. He is probably better than Leicester Fainga'anuku, but I mean, does Leicester deserve to be dropped after the performance he put in against Ireland? Every time Fainga'anuku plays, he puts in a brutal workhorse performance. The guy is absolutely everywhere. He's a try-scoring machine. What's his stats even? I think he's played like 5 games and scored like 25 tries. I mean, seriously, the guy is insane. Of course, on the other wing, Will Jordan. the less I say about him, the better. I mean, because people are going to start thinking I'm an All Blacks fan here. The guy's also just immaculate. I mean, what more can you say? The guy just finds himself in positions to score tries. He's literally a try-scoring machine. Whether it's just a catch it, put it down, or whether it's creating something out of nothing, he can do it all. And then, of course, in that 15 jersey, Beauden Barrett. And I will take no Beauden Barrett slander. I've said this for a long time. He's so underappreciated in that 15 jersey. Just what he offers to the team. Of course, Damian McKenzie can slot into that 15 position as well. You've got Jordie Barrett in that 15 as well. Beauden Barrett has been class since he's been into that 15 jersey. Yeah, maybe he's a better 10 than he was a 15. But he was the world's best 10. And currently, he's probably the world's best 15. I can't think of too many players that I would have above him. Could you say Thomas Ramos from France? Maybe. But I don't think Ramos offers as much as Beauden Barrett does. Ramos kicks well. But I mean, Barrett, he's insane. He's insane. He's so underappreciated. Moving on to the bench, you got Samisoni Takiao, Tamaiti Williams, Fletcher Newell, the usuals, Brodie Retallick, Dalton Papali'i, and still I don't understand why is Finlay Christie the number 21. I've got no qualms with Finlay Christie, but surely you had to throw Cam Roigard in there. The guy has been insane. He's played almost every game in the World Cup on the bench, and now Finlay Christie comes in. I think Cam Roigard has the potential to be the next Aaron Smith. He's got the potential to be as good as Antoine Dupont. Maybe some people could say he's a bit stingy at the moment, or he still makes mistakes, but the guy's like 15 years old. He's got so much to grow. I think this was the perfect game for Finlay Christie, because Argentina likes to play the loose game. And I think he would have slotted in perfectly for that. But I mean, anyway, moving on. Damian McKenzie, a lot of people would have had him maybe in that 15 jersey or whatever. But I think the impact that he brings on the bench, knowing he can slot into the 10 or that 15 position, brilliant. I just think D-Mac has been a revelation. He's been brilliant in the Super Rugby. He's come into the World Cup. He's in the form of his life. I mean, people rave about him. He's insane. Absolutely insane. Would you guys have played Damian McKenzie above Beauden Barrett? For me, no. Not necessarily because he's a worse player than Beauden Barrett. I just think purely impact from the bench. Same with when I speak about South Africa. I always say Kwagga Smith, one of the first names on the team sheet, even though he goes straight to the bench. And then, of course, to round off the team, you've got Anton Leonard-Brown who will slot into the centre position. Very, very strong team. Probably the strongest team they could have fielded, in my opinion. I would have played Brodie Retallick instead of Sam Whitelock, but that's not a shot at Sam Whitelock whatsoever. And I would have played Cam Roigard. But that's just my personal opinion. Or maybe even Leicester Fainganuku, just because he had an absolutely brilliant game against Ireland and take that momentum into the semi-final and then maybe even the final. Just my personal opinion. Of course, you guys know better than me about this team. Moving on to the Argentina team, and we'll just fly through it because I said this is no disrespect. It's just I don't know them too well. So starting off, you got Thomas Gallo, Julian Montoya, and Francisco Gomez Godella. I don't know Francisco Gomez Godello. Of course, Julian Montoya, captain of the team, brings that experience to the team. And Argentina's coming out with some passion. They'll cry during the national anthems. Thomas Gallo, of course, a big name when it comes to scrum time. Moving on, I can't even pronounce the number 4's name. And then you've got the experienced Thomas Lavanini, the guy who likes to fight. I want to see a fight between Thomas Lavanini and Scott Barrett. I would love it. I just like chaos in the field. I enjoy a bit of fighting. Same with, I mentioned it yesterday on a TikTok live, okay? These press conferences are so boring these days. I want people to come out and say, listen, the other team are getting spanked. They are shit or whatever. I don't like this, we'll respect them. It's not a respect game. You can respect them after the game. Have a beer after the game, okay? Moving on to the Lucies, you got Juan Martin Gonzalez, Marcos Kremer, and Isa. you see, I'm feeling very casual at the moment. This is what happens when you don't watch the other team. I know way more about the back line. Like Betrano, Santiago Carreras had an absolute field day with Wales. The guy was insane. I don't think he could have put a foot wrong. Stepping, kicking, everything. And I mean kicking out of the hand, because of course you got Emiliano Buffali, who slots it from everywhere on the field, in the back line as well. Lucio Cinti, Juan Cruz Malia. I'll just end it there with the Argentina team. Let's just go into a bit of a breakdown. Overall, I think New Zealand takes this game pretty easily or pretty comfortably. But you can't overlook Argentina. Of course, they can pop up with a random upset. They had the worst performance in their life against England in the first game, and then probably pulled out an absolutely brilliant performance against Wales, because Wales were at the races. Wales were there to win the game. And Argentina pulled off the upset victory. Like, I thought it's going to be a Wales easy victory. Michael Cheika, of course, has done some wonders with this team. I fully respect Argentina, so just because I get the names wrong or don't know all the players doesn't mean I do not respect the team. And I think for Argentina to win this game, they have to smash some penalties. They got to get some penalties and build up a lead. But we know the All Blacks come out of the blocks very, very quickly. The big man in this team will be Buffali. I think if they keep the game tight, just like they did in the 18-25 win against New Zealand a couple of years back, they have to defend for their lives, maybe push on the counter-attack, hit some penalties, literally just keep it as tight as possible. Because if you get New Zealand in a groove, they are unstoppable. Doesn't matter who they're playing against. It could be literally South Africa could have one of their best performances. Let's say the performance against South Africa in Twickenham. New Zealand hardly had a sniff. And as soon as they had one sniff, Cam Roigard pounced on it and scored. And that's what they do. You can't lose concentration at all playing against New Zealand when it comes to defending. They are so clinical. It's scary. This New Zealand side is scary. They'll be even more scary with Robertson that comes in after the World Cup. I think it's going to be some more New Zealand dominance for a couple of years. I'm getting like little frights every time when I think about it. But in the end, moving on to the final score prediction of the game, I'm going New Zealand with a comfortable victory. I'm going New Zealand by 19 points. I think this game ends like 29-10 in New Zealand's favour. This is not no slight to Argentina, but I think New Zealand wants that statement victory, come out of the blocks quickly, get some points on the board, and truly say, listen, we are ready for that final. We want some vengeance. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. Sorry for the mispronunciation of some names on both teams, by the way. But let me know in the comments. Sam Whitelock or Brodie Retallick, Adi Savia or Richie McCaw, Bowden Barrett or Damian McKenzie, and I can't even remember. Oh, Finlay Christie and Cam Roigard. Those are the 4 questions. See you next time. Thank you.